Hey guys, this is Jong over here, and welcome back to another episode of COA 6 Recap. Today, the region I'll be recapping is the NA-EU region. The NA-EU region qualifiers has started at the February 18th and finished at February 20th, with 8 teams battling it out in the qualifiers. If the Korea region is the region of unconventional, then the NA-EU region is the region of growth. This year, the NA-EU region qualifying spots has increased from 1 team to 2 teams, providing the NA-EU teams with more opportunities. After 3 days of intense battling, B4U managed to defeat CH4 and qualify for the COA Global Finals 3 years in a row. On the other hand, OM managed to defeat Fusion to also qualify for the COA Global Finals as well. And after watching the NA-EU region qualifiers, I am amazed by the gameplay ongoing there, as comparing to previous years where one team would dominate the entire bracket. This year we do get to see the rise of other teams, as the qualifiers match this year is significantly more fierce comparing to previous years. Honestly, this does mean that the NA-EU region is improving and growing, and maybe next year we can see more close battles from the region of growth. In OM vs CPDD, OM started the matchup strong, scoring at 8-1 in BO1, giving them a massive lead. When CPDD's Hunter Loki 4K in BO2, OM's Hunter Nico also scored a 4K to tie up the second round. This means that heading into BO3, CPDD must reverse a score of 8-1 in order to tie up BO3, and in paper terms, it'll be very difficult. But in the first half of BO3, CPDD's Cowboy managed to balloon rescue his teammates a couple of times to delay time and managed to pull off a free escape in Gate War. Then faced with a must 4K situation, Loki successfully scored a 4K by pulling out his Sculptor, and they managed to do the unthinkable by tying up a 8-1 in BO3, leading the matchup between OM and CPDD head into additional time. In the critical BO4 first half, CPDD's Loki managed to score a 4K with his Clerk in 8 minutes, putting massive pressure on OM's Hunter Nico, as not only does he need to score a 4K, he must do so in under 8 minutes. Faced with immense pressure, Nico pulled out his Sculptor and he managed to score a 4K in 7 minutes, with a very intense finish, giving his team the win in a reverse sweep. Honestly, this match just showcased the charm of esports, seeing 2 teams giving it their all to win, providing us audience with an awesome viewing experience. I cannot ask for a better thing to watch. In top 8 CH4 vs RV BO1 first half, during the endgame with Dreamer Cheers trying to hunt down the dead on-chair barmaid with no items, and faced with such a scenario, the entire team went to support the teammate, managing to assist the barmaid out of the gate with the help of the mercenary and the antiquarian, and completing a 4 escape. Considering the difficulty of getting a 4 escape, you really have to applaud CH4 Survivor for their efforts and their skill in supporting their teammates. In the qualifying match B4U vs CH4 BO2 first half, after the Prospector has boarded the tram, over here B4U's Pit Stopper managed to use his statues to push the Prospector off the tram. While I knew it was possible, it takes a lot of skills and precision to pull that off, and the fact that Pit Stopper is able to do that just shows us how skilled he is and how much he understood the Sculptor as a character. In semifinals B4U vs CH4 BO1 first half, the X-Boy over here gained a very good start by landing a hit on Skimidi's Antiquarian early into the game, but Problem's Entomologist here came to assist and pushed the X-Boy further away, and with the help of Skimidi's Antiquarian's acceleration itself, this caused the X-Boy to lose track of the Antiquarian and is forced to switch chase. This timing assist over here caused the Hunter's good early game to fall apart. Had that original chase continued, who knows what would have happened? In semi-final OM vs Fusion BO2 first half, over here OM's Nico had a very bad start as he was facing a 4.5 Cypher Kite, but facing this situation with the harassing of ciphers and catching misplaced, he managed to turn the 4.5 Cypher Kite into a tie. I analyzed this match in another video, so please go and check the link down below. In quarterfinals CPDD versus OM, over here the mechanic was waiting at the second floor while the dungeon is within reaching distance. And Nico cannot leave the area over here, but if the game exceeds 8 minutes and 30 seconds, then he will lose. So, while he cannot run up the hospital, he cannot exactly wait either. Just when all hope is lost, Nico decided to do the unthinkable.
An elbow pad too, because... Oh, patroller?
Oh, that's smart. He's going now. He's going. Is he gonna make it? Oh my god. The statue. The flower.
Oh my gosh. Oh, she's down right at the edge of the dungeon.
The smart patroller usage here baited the mechanic into jumping down, and as a result, he managed to stop the mechanic right before she can get to the dungeon and got a 4K in lower than 8 minutes and 30 seconds. This patroller move from such a hopeless situation is really shocking and just shows how calm and how bold Nico can be. Continuing on the top plate just now, upon reviewing, there are potential improvements of the situation. Since it takes around 5 to 10 seconds for the sculptor to go to the second story, what the mechanic could have done here is to wait for around another 7 to 8 seconds and then drop down right before the patroller is about to bite, then use the elbow pad and flywheel to charge for the dungeon. I also made a separate video regarding this, so make sure to check this out in the link below as well. There are quite a lot of players who played pretty well throughout the qualifiers. Unfortunately, I cannot include them all, so I'll just go through those that I remembered the most. The first top star goes to CPDD's Loki, despite only playing in one total match. But he got subbed in when his team is trailing behind in the 8-1 BO1, placing a lot of pressure onto him. But facing with such a massive point defect, his Sculptor and Clerk in BO2 and 3 managed to score 4K respectively, and he's definitely one of the main driving forces of CPDD's reverse sweep, and it's just a shame that one team had to lose in that matchup and his time got ended early. Another player I remembered the most from the qualifier is OM's Honor, as in the matchup between OM and Fusion, Honor contributed a lot to the Survivor team, including making a 90-second kite against the Wax Artist to turn a potentially 4K game back to a tie, and also giving up timely assists as an Antiquarian to force the Clerk to switch targets, along with showing very high proficiency with the Antiquarian. And finally, who cannot forget OM's Nico? Nico played extremely well in the qualifiers, as seen throughout this recap video, there are quite some top plays about him. He managed to turn 2 hopeless games, the one with the Sculptor in the hospital, and the other one with the 4.5 Cypher Kite into 4K for the win. Nico honestly played very amazing in the qualifiers, and he's definitely someone I'll have my eyes on for the global finals. Also, the honorable mention would definitely go to B4U2, as being said, they managed to win both their matchups in 2-0 and qualified for 3 years in a row, and you know what they say? You don't qualify 3 years in a row and dominate both matches 2-0 for nothing, especially with how well they played, and let's hope they'll be able to have a good result in this year's COA. The best matchup for me is definitely Fusion versus OM, and not just because of that reverse sweep that I mentioned, but from how intense it was from start to finish, as in each individual game, there were some pretty exciting and pretty interesting things going on from both factions. So, it is so exciting that I'm not going to be talking through and I'm going to play through a montage. Without further ado, let's take a look at the montage below. Anyways guys, this wraps up the end of this video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a comment down below, and if you guys liked it a lot, I'ma make more for you guys. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye!